Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelby and today I'm going to be talking about all the books I want to read in April. It's been a while since I have posted a video or even filmed a video. Honestly, I have been in such a slump the past few months, and what started out as a short hiatus turned into like 6 months of me not having the motivation to film anything. But this morning I woke up and I was like, I kind of want to film something. So I just kind of jumped up on that. So I put on very minimal makeup and decided to just start my camera and get this video filmed while I still had that motivation, and hopefully it'll inspire me to do more. But that is besides the point. That is for future Shelby to worry about. Today I just want to film and I just want to talk about the books that I'm planning to read in April. So April's a super special month for me, especially this year. I am turning 23 on April 27th, which is super exciting. I'm going to Disney World for the first time in like 12 years with some of my best friends who I've met through the Bookstagram community. And I'm just anticipating a great month. I'm manifesting it for myself, if you will. And that's all gonna also depend on the books I'm reading. So I have a bunch of books here that I'm super excited about, super excited to share with you. So let's get started. So throughout the year of 2023, my friend Meg from Meg's Bookish Dreams and I are doing a massive Sarah J. Maas reread. And we decided to do this way back in 2022 when we realized we probably wouldn't get a new release from Sarah J. Maas during the year, and obviously we were correct because it was recently announced that her newest book, Crescent City #3, will be released in 2024. So to make the separation from Sarah's writing easier, we decided to read one book a month for the entirety of 2023. So in January we read Assassin's Blade, in February we read Throne of Glass, in March this month we read Crown of Midnight, and now that it is April we are gonna get to read my favorite book, Heir of Fire. These are the Nerdy Ink covers. I'm obsessed with them. They were having a sale and I jumped on it because I've been wanting these Throne of Glass covers forever and I love them so much. But Heir of Fire picks up right where Crown of Midnight left off. It's kind of the book that shifts everything for the series. It introduces a bunch of new characters and new plot points, and I really view this book as like the turning point where we shift away from Selena Sardathian's journey as the assassin in Adarlan, and it focuses more on her destiny and really her journey to become the person that she was meant to be. I don't know if you can tell that I'm being extremely vague about that because in case you haven't read the series, I don't want to spoil it, but it's an amazing series and you should check it out. So I'm super excited to read Heir of Fire. As I said, it's my favorite book in the series. We get to meet one of my favorite characters in the series. He was on this cover, and I'm overall just really excited to read it. So yeah, that is one of the books I'll be reading during the month of April. Now on to the rest of my April hopefuls, so books that I'm hoping to get to. I don't like to say TBR anymore because I feel like that sets up the expectation for myself that I have to read everything that I set out in front of me on that TBR. So I've been kind of shifting to say April hopefuls instead of TBR because those are more like the books I'm hoping to read. I don't know. It's weird how that word can like change a mindset, but it's really worked for me. So the next on my April hopefuls list is Collided by Lauren Asher. So this is the second book in her Dirty Air series, and it is a sports romance focusing on Formula One racing. This is like it's like NASCAR, but not really. NASCAR's with cars, and Formula One I think is like more with carts, and it's also more of a European thing. They travel to different cities in Europe racing these carts, and the politics and the structure of Formula One is so interesting. After I read the first book in the series called Throttled, I did so much research on Formula One. I was so interested in it, and it is really cool. So I am super excited to continue the second book in the series. Each book follows a different couple, but they're all interconnected. So we actually met the characters in this book in the last book, Throttled. So the characters in this one are Sophie and Liam. Sophie is like the daughter of like a higher up executive in Formula One, and she kind of has this bucket list of things she wants to try while the season is happening in all the different countries. So this other Formula One bad boy, he's a racer who plays for a different team than her father is on. He offers to help her fulfill some of the things on her bucket list. I'm super excited. He's like bad boy, and it's like kind of, they're both have this tension, but there's also this added layer of the fact that they're kind of playing for opposite teams. Their organizations are in competition with each other, which I think is going to create a lot of tension and a lot of sneaking around. So I'm very excited for those aspects of the book, and overall I think this is going to be a great new adult romance. So definitely if you like clean romance, which means that you don't see any like sex scenes or anything like that, this is probably not the series for you, because I do know that Lauren Asher tends to use descriptive language for those scenes. But if you're a fan of those like I am, highly recommend checking out the first book in her series, which is once again Throttled. But this is the second book, and I'm pretty sure you can read them out of order. They are standalone couples, but if you're like me and have to read a book in order, then yeah, read Throttled first. I promise it's still good. But I'm very excited to read Collided this month. The next book that I have to hopefully read in April is one I have been seeing all over Bookstagram, and that is Magnolia Parks by Jessica Hastings. Essentially, this was described to me as like Gossip Girl, so if you like Gossip Girl, you'll probably like this book. And specifically, it is kind of like fan fiction almost for Chuck and Blair, two characters in Gossip Girl. And this book's characters made a lot of readers think of that couple. So I'm super excited to read it because I'm a huge fan of Gossip Girl and of Chuck and Blair. So this book follows Magnolia Parks and BJ Ballantyne, and they're both upper class socialites, I believe, in London, and they are very high up and well known, very rich, and they have this very toxic relationship that's on again and off again, where they're friends and they sleep with each other, then they break each other's hearts, and then it just goes on and on and on, and it's this cycle that they can't really seem to break free of. I'm not quite sure what the like plot is beyond that. Essentially, that's really what the description reads to me. I think it's going to be a lot of drama, a lot of almost soap opera-esque type situations, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. I've been told that the real strength is the characters and just their relationships and the found family that can be found within this book. So I think it's actually going to be a really fun read and just kind of like a mindless, rich, upper class, high life of London society type book. And I'm really excited to see the characters, Magnolia Parks and BJ Ballantyne, and how the author is going to have them interact and how their relationship is going to develop and fall and develop and fall throughout the series, because I believe it's more than one book. I've been recommended this by so many people. I'm really just excited to try it out. So the next book on my April hopefuls list is another romance. Are you sensing a theme? Really, I spent the majority of March reading my backlist fantasy books that I've gotten from like fairy loot boxes and such. March was a very fantasy month, so I'm kind of shifting gears more towards romance in April besides my Heir of Fire reread. So once again, this next book is a romance, also one I've seen everywhere, also one that's come highly recommended to me by a bunch of friends, and that would be Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. This is my first Mia Sheridan book. Follows a girl named Bree who moves to this very small, sleepy town of Pelion, Maine to kind of find this inner peace that she's been searching for. I get the impression that she's probably running for something, or she's had some kind of incident in her life that's kind of caused her to seek out a place where she can feel at home and calm and a sense of peace with herself. So she comes to this sleepy little town in Maine, and she accidentally kind of runs into this man named Archer who doesn't speak, who's mute, and she kind of gets wrapped up in his life and in the small town politics, where a lot of the drama in this town is actually surrounding Archer, and it's about them kind of finding their way to each other despite obstacles. So I feel like that's also a very vague summary. That's all I know about the book that I can gather from the back of the book, the description here. But it looks really interesting. I'm really fascinated by the idea of having a main character who is mute. That's not something you really see a lot. I always love to see disability responsibility represented in romance, because I feel like it's really easy to fall into that white heteronormative trap with romances these days. It's the majority of what you see. So to find something that's a little bit different, that has a little bit of character added to it, I guess, is really nice to see. And I'm really excited to see the story as a whole and how they'll communicate and how they'll find each other despite one of them, or maybe both of them, being very closed off and also having that additional language barrier. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this book. Once again, I've heard so many good things, and I think it's gonna be a good read. So I have one more book I'm going to share with you guys. I know this video is short, but I hope to work my way back up to longer videos. So for right now, kind of making my videos short and sweet is how I think I'm gonna get myself to film more. But you know, also I only have 5 books I have planned to read this month, so you know, it's not going to be a long video because there's only 5 books. Anyway, so the final book I'm hoping to get to in April is Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. So this is a book that is written by sisters, I believe, and I have been harassed by many friends to read this. I feel like that's also a theme of the month, is that a lot of these books are books that my friends have recommended and I'm just like finally getting around to them. But this is called Addicted, and it follows Lily Calloway and Lauren Hale. I believe Lily Calloway is a sex addict and Lauren Hale is an alcoholic, and they are best friends. So they're best friends and they're both addicts, and they fall into this also kind of toxic relationship and kind of have to figure out how to love each other despite all these limitations that they have themselves. I am so excited for this book. All of my friends say that it is a great found family book. It is a great romance, that it will rip my heart out and make me cry, which, you know, those are the best kind of books that you know are gonna leave a scar on you emotionally, right? That's healthy. That's healthy to think that and to actively seek that out. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to getting my heart broken by this book, as is evidenced by the cover, so I guess that should be a little foreshadowing. Yeah, and I'm excited to see kind of the toxicity and the give and pull of a relationship between two addicts, but two addicts for very different things, like sex addiction versus alcohol addiction. I'm sure they have many similarities, but the concepts as a whole are very different. And I'm excited to see how the symptoms of both of their addictions play into their relationship, and if it will be different or if it will be similar, or how addiction presents when it's different things you're addicted to. So the psychologist in me, my psychology major brain, is very interested in that kind of dynamic. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a really great love story. Super excited to get to it. And yeah, those are the books I want to read. I'm really hoping to get to all of them within the month of April, but as I said, I am traveling for 4 days to Disney, and I'm also going to Boston at the beginning of the month to visit my friend. So lots of cool things happening, but I'm sure I will have plenty of time to read, and I promise in a future video I will explain why I was gone, what has happened. A lot has happened that I can't wait to tell you guys about, because I've really missed making videos and this booktube community, and I just can't wait to really get back at it. So yeah, look out in your subscriptions box for me. If you guys like this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Hit that notification bell to get updates on when I post. I hope to post a new video very soon, and it is so great to be with you guys all again, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye! Oh my god, I feel like I've completely forgotten how to talk to a camera. I hope that was good. Okay.